there was a time I defended there was what was like a Daily Beast article or something that came after Russell Brand. They were basically calling him a right winger and a conspiracy theorist, but this was like a long time ago, and I wasn't convinced of that yet. But now I got to be honest with y'all. In retrospect, I feel pretty fucking dumb having defended him in that moment.
But I did find this worth reacting to because you guys might remember it wasn't actually all that long ago that Crystal and Kyle had Russell Brand on their own podcast. I'll put it up on screen just in case you need some proof. But yeah, they were hanging out not that long ago, 2 years ago, Russell Brand on Crystal, Kyle and Friends. And it was around the same time that Kyle did a video defending Russell Brand from a criticism and the Daily Beast, I believe. It was an article basically talking about how he was doing a right-wing pivot, how he was just like tricking progressives and really just sheep herding them to the right. And Kyle was like, give me a break. That's not true. Say what you want about Russell Brand, but he's not a right winger. And we agreed with Kyle. I remember Zach and I did a video about Kyle's video saying that, yeah, of course, that was ridiculous. We don't agree with Russell Brand on everything, but we didn't think he was some right-wing grifter. Well, a couple of years have gone by since that all went down. And unfortunately, Russell Brand proved all of his critics 100% correct. We reacted to the pretty funny video the other day of Russell Brand praying the rosary, but somehow he was able to top that just mere days later with this banger, talking about his upcoming baptism. If you guys haven't seen it, let's take a look at just a few seconds so you know what Kyle is talking about.
This Sunday, I'm taking the plunge. I'm getting baptized.
I'm taking the plunge. He's talking about it like it's a freaking water slide at an amusement park or something.
At the moment, I'm very curious as to what you who have been baptized feel about it, what your expectations are of the event prior, and what it's actually like. What's been explained to me is it's an opportunity to die and be reborn, an opportunity to leave the past behind and be reborn in Christ's name, like it says in Galatians, that you can live as an enlightened and awakened person. Sometimes I think of non-Christian perspectives on it, like Marcus Aurelius saying, you are already dead, now live the rest of your life properly.
Can we talk about Marcus Aurelius for a second? So for people who don't know who Marcus Aurelius is, he is beloved by a very specific type of Silicon Valley bro. And the fact that Russell Brand is name dropping him here is not lost on me. He is known as being a chief philosopher in the movement known as Stoicism. Now, Marcus Aurelius, he was like a famous prince or something. He had everything fucking handed to him, right? He had all of the fruits of the world, but he was still unhappy, right? And so it's become beloved by rich goons in Silicon Valley who realize that they have like, $10 million net worths, $100 million net worths, and they're still miserable as fuck. So if you ever listen to a guy like the Tim Ferriss podcast, he won't shut the fuck up about Marcus Aurelius and meditation or whatever the fuck that dude's book that he wrote was. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. It's like he wants to marry that with the like evangelical like Christian community. And I say this as a guy who was baptized. It's just sticking your head in water, bro. I never felt the fucking Holy Spirit. I was probably like a year and a half old in a Methodist church.
You didn't go off the high dive into the pool of water? That's not the plunge?
It was funny. I was thinking about doing a reverse backflip. You know what I mean? I was thinking about giving it the real goal, but as that my parents just slingshotted me from, I was an infant, right? My dad's probably got a better recollection, but I remember the slingshot into the big old lake. It's probably the best amusement park ride I've ever been on.
Yep. Anyway, let's take a look here. Kyle definitely has had a change of tune, specifically since seeing that video of Russell Brand preparing to get baptized and clearly just pandering to his now majority right-wing and increasingly religious audience. So let's take a look at what Kyle has to say, echoing some of our own observations about Russell Brand's career trajectory.
I don't know, man. I'm going to ask you guys. Seems kind of opportunistic to do this at this moment, right? Like, basically, it was the nail in the coffin for, like, his left-wing fandom when all the accusations dropped against him, right? You got the sense that everybody in the left was like, okay, because he had been flirting with the right for quite a while. Then this happens. Then he comes out and does the, I'm being persecuted shtick. And you get the sense that anybody who was like a left-wing fan who was hanging on at the time was just like, no. And now for him to do, I'm actually a born-again Christian. I mean, look, I can't help but point out, it's kind of weird how it lines up. It feels like, ever since that moment, you've leaned even more into, well, fuck it, I'm going to be like a right-wing anti-establishment crusader. And now you're becoming a born-again Christian. That sort of fits with the whole mold of the people that you're trying to appeal to at the moment, right?
People who are okay with rape.
You guys can answer.
I'm just saying, he's gone after the Catholic community right here. He's praying the rosary. We all know about clergy molestation. We all know how they like to turn an eye to it. This is a man that's been credibly accused of rape. There are rape kits. Think about how rare it is, everybody who didn't follow this. We talked about it ad nauseum because we cut all of our fucking praising. We already basically did our whole, hey, fuck Russell Brand takes like 9 months ago, whenever the, shit hit the fan with his, the massive amount of evidence, the trove of evidence that he'd been a fucking rapist, which we do not fuck with here at all, obviously, but like down to the fact where a woman left his house, went and got a rape kit, and it proves that he had raped her. Oh, guess what? Nobody ever thought to put that on trial. A rich asshole that we're just not going to even bother to take him to the court. Yeah, that's happened all the time throughout history. And if you can also imagine that as soon as the Me Too movement began, that's when he quit Hollywood and decided to be an ooey vooey online YouTuber. Oh yeah, look at me now. I've given up on Hollywood. Oh, I'm ready for the revolution. Yeah, just give it to me now. Oh wait, I have some stuff coming down the pipeline. So let me just, let me hedge my bets on the people who aren't going to turn their backs on me no matter what. The clapping seals.
Answer it. Post it in the comment section below. Is it just a rank, opportunistic, let me posture for, my future relevance in this commentating sphere? Is that what it is? Like, hey, I see how my bread is buttered now. I see who butters my bread. I'm going to go in that direction because I want, hey, instead of being like the guy who was the spiritual lefty defending right-wing talking points, now I'm going to just say, hey, I'm one of you. I'm a born-again Christian. And it'd be interesting to see how he describes himself now politically, because I know I've certainly seen the change in him, and I know many of you probably have. There was a time I defended there was like a Daily Beast article or something that came after Russell Brand. They were basically calling him a right winger and a conspiracy theorist, but this was like a long time ago, and I wasn't convinced of that yet. But now I got to be honest with y'all. In retrospect, I feel pretty fucking dumb having defended him in that moment, right? Because the trajectory was kind of clear. And then now it looks like we've come full circle and he's doing the whole, I'm a born again Christian now. I mean, look, I'm struggling to determine how much of an asshole I should be right now.
A bigger one, Kyle, a bigger one. Imagine a asshole after you've shoved the world's largest dildo up it and walked around for a week. That's where you need to go.
I'm an open-minded dude, right? Different people believe different things. They're raised in different cultures and different contexts. And there's a variety of flavor of kind of ideologies and ethoses and whatever that people live their life by, religious creeds, etc. And like, okay, I see it. There are some people who, if you're raised in the context of being a Christian and that's all you've ever known, you might just consider yourself, I'm a Christian, in the same way that you would say, like, I'm an American. I was born in America. I'm an American. Yeah, I'm a Christian. I was raised by Christians. I went to church when I was a kid. Yeah, I'm a Christian, I guess, right? That's one thing. To me, it's a whole nother thing. If you're a grown
if you believe this shit for real,
and instead,
I like how that's how he sets it up, where he's like, listen, man, if you just like go through your life and you're like, I didn't think critically about this, like, I don't know, I don't give a fuck. But if you mean to tell me you think that shit's real, and we let you drive a car and buy a house and walk around and fucking live a real life. Yeah, some things you can't take away from a channel called Secular Talk. Like, even if he wants to be like really open-minded about religion, he's like, God damn, how are these people just dumb as fucking rock?
Yep, that was the last straw with Russell Brand for Kyle. When the religious shit started coming into play, he's like, all right, you lost me. You fucking lost me. This is unserious now.
I am a little bit surprised, to say one more thing. I think it's because he's based in England, and there's a lot more like fucking insane Islamophobia there. But I was a little bit surprised that he didn't just go ahead and decide to convert to Islam, because that's a really popular move on like Twitch universe now. If you're trying to get into like a narrow lane, it seemingly he's gone in a different direction than that. But Rock Nouveau brings up the fact that Russell's on track to follow the LA OnlyFans influencer Trisha Paytas' arc of adopting a new religion every 2 weeks, taking bets on what's next. He would look at a Hasidic temple curls, LOL. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know how married to his lane he'll be. I think he's going to kind of do the mesh of New Age mysticism with like, I don't know, the verbiage of Christianity. That's really popular also. But it is a little bit of a, it's just an interesting decision to take at this time. But I guess also Tucker Carlson's been really leaning into Christianity too, and maybe that's where he's taking his cues from.
Yeah, I saw there was a video too on Russell Brand's channel where he's like talking to Candace Owens about her transition to Catholicism or something like that. Here, let me show you guys, because in case it's not already entirely obvious what is happening. Yeah, Candace Owens becomes Catholic. Is this why people are turning to Christianity? Yep, it's because Candace Owens is becoming Catholic. That's why people are turning to Christianity. Is that even true, by the way? Like, is there any data that suggests that people are turning to Christianity in larger numbers than they were? Because I feel like almost our entire adult lives, the trend has been the opposite. It's that more and more people are identifying as secular.
I have no idea. I imagine that there's some selective poll that he could find that would be his evidence, and then he would move on after no scrutiny when we show him a bunch of evidence that's like, hey, people are actually less religious now than ever before.
More and more people in Russell Brand's audience are turning religious.
Right, exactly.